Tapasa chiyate brahma tato namabhijayate annat prano mana satyam loka karma suchamritam. Tapasa chiyate brahma tato namabhijayate annat prano mana satyam loka karma suchamritam. Through the tapas, tapas here is the effort, Brahman swells. From that arises annam, food, abhijayate, the food is born, prana, vital air, mana, mind, satyam, the truth here is interpreted as the great elements, lokaha, the worlds, amritam, karmasu, the endless actions. So continuing the thought of presenting similes for giving the theories of creation or various similes of theory of creation. Here, 8th and 9th mantra also presents one of the theory of creation. As I've said, he continues the thought flow. Maybe the students showed some interest, unlike the students today are not showing any interest. You are saying, what theories, Upanishad class have come and you're giving stories and metaphors and spiders and hair and what is this, sir? But those days, Upanishadic students may have showed some interest, so the master continued. So forgive me, I also have to continue. So please show some interest to keep this Guru interested. Otherwise, the Guru also might log out like the great Guru, Hariji. Sir, through tapasa chiyate brahma, just to even chant the word is so beautiful. Tapasa chiyate brahma. Adhe so inspiration. Forget the interpretation. The word tapas, tapasa. So tapasa here refers to the effort. Now, what is the effort? He says Brahman swells. The word chiyate, the Sanskrit word chiyate means swells. Tapasa chiyate brahma. So when we say Brahman swells, he says Brahman has the creative urge and he identifies with the urge and he creates. So the Brahman becomes the creator. Now don't ask me where did Brahman get the creative urge from. Questioning, don't, you put aside your thinking hat aside. It is just theory. Too much thinking is not allowed here. Brahman puts in effort and swells, and from that arises food, prana, mind, elements, world, and actions. And how does all of that come about? Has come about because Brahman swells. Means Brahman has identified with that urge, and that identification with the urge is the tapas, is the effort. So when you do tapas, you become the creator. That's all it means. Brahman identified with the creative urge and he put some tapas, and that tapas is the effort to create. He became the creator. You know, as you all know, Vaishnavi has a vasana, has a talent for singing. And as a father, as my dharma to give her the opportunity to express in whatever field of interest. I can't say you should sing only Carnatic, not classic, semi-classical or other forms. If she has a vasana for it, she would do it. Who am I to say yes or no? But all I keep telling her, if you ask, what is it that Appa keeps telling you? What is it that Dad keeps telling you? All that I keep telling Vaishnavi, keep putting tapas. You do tapas, tapas, tapas. So the word that is very dear to me, Ushama, US, is tapas. Oh, UK. Sorry, US is not there today. UK, I keep telling tapas. Now, can you please explain how does this justify to what we are learning here? What is tapas to music? And what does tapas do to a musician? I know you also have music vasanas, so you'll understand that. You can relate to it.
It is the urge within you which wants an expression, Guruji. Okay. And it should come naturally from within you. It cannot be imposed by anybody else.
So what comes within you?
It is that feeling of swelling, as you explained just now. That creative urge to express yourself. That's all.
What is that creative urge philosophically?
How do you explain it, Guruji?
No, you just said you have that urge with you. Nobody can give it to you, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Now, what is that which you have it, nobody can give you?
Yes, yes, Guruji. So it has
what is
to.
It? What is it? I'm sorry. I didn't want you to miss the point. What is it that which is within you? I can't give you.
It's that vasana, Guruji.
Correct. It is the vasana. So you are born with that vasana.
Yeah.
Now, what we are saying, that swelling, the word chiyate, swelling here is tapas.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So when a musician puts tapas to music, what is the creation?
It's the music which comes out.
It is, he brings out melodious music.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
creates a world of music. And when you do tapas, you become a powerful musician, a famous musician. Then comes all that what music can bring you to if you are a profound musician. It will give you name, fame.
Yeah. Yes, Guruji.
Everything.
Yes. Yes, Guruji.
In the field of music, you have created a name for yourself.
Yes.
And how does it come? The end product is tapas.
Yes. Yes, Guruji.
So tapas of a musician, tapas makes you the creator of the creation.
Yes.
Of the music world and the musician you become.
Yes, Guruji.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Now, when you apply that concept of tapas to any creation, what is the mantra saying? Tapasa chiyate Brahma. What do you understand of that?
So Brahma also had this kind of an urge to.
Who?
Brahman.
Not Brahma.
Sorry, Brahman had a urge to create, and it swelled, and the universe is a result of it.
The world and universe, food, prana, vital air, mind, etc., all have come out of that.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes, Guruji.
It makes it easy if you understand that way. Otherwise, we don't follow the so-called logic he's giving.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. Right. Harish is in deep pensive mood. I don't know of what. Huh? How are you? Why are you so pensive over what, Harish?
No, Guruji, I'm just listening very intently to the discussions, trying to understand the depth of it. So that's all it is, Guruji. It's very profound.
All right. So thanks, Harish. So you're following the thought flow.
Yes, Guruji.
But the lacuna in this, what is the flaw in this? As every simile or a metaphor had a flaw, even this Brahman swelling out of tapas and his creation, what is the flaw in this?
I'm not sure.
So, just to help you with it, we have said Brahman has identified with a creative urge and has brought about a creation, right?
Correct.
Now, in this statement, what do you find a flaw? So, from the standpoint of Brahman,
Yes.
can there be any urge in Brahman? Can there be any desire in Brahman? Because Brahman is said to be a state of no urge, no desire, isn't it?
Yes.
So when he says Brahman has identified with an urge and this is the result of his creation, is like your forefathers, let's say you go back to your father's father, your forefather. He had the urge to procreate. The result of that was your great grandfather. And then the chain continued to your grandfather, your father, yourself, and your siblings. So that you can say it is because of that my forefather, there is this chain, isn't it? Then you can understand, yes, my great grandfather had the urge to procreate, he procreated. I can understand it. But when you say Brahman identified with an urge, you say, man, for a moment you say, you come into a fix and say, how can Brahman have an urge? So the fallacy or the flaw in this analogy or a theory is Brahman cannot have an urge. There is no urge in Brahman. Why? Because Brahman is said to be paripurna. That's the reason we chant the mantra Purnamada Purnamidam. So the mantra we chant at the conclusion, which only says Purnam, the Sanskrit word for Purnam, Haresh, means whole, wholesome, complete. So when Brahman is paripurna, it's like after you've had a spread, a 5-course meal, Harish. You are hungry and you say, let me go and pamper myself. You go to a 5-course meal. And after you enjoyed your meal, I ask you, would you want to have anything else, sir? You say, oh, no, thank you. I have really enjoyed your hospitality. It's been wonderful. I've had to my heart's content. I'm full. I can't have anything more. Would you like to have a little, one more special dessert we have? No, nothing, sir. I've tasted what you have, nothing more. You have reached a state of contentment. You have no further urge. Now, Brahman is said to be paripurna. So there is no urge in Brahman. So if there is no urge, the question of tapas and question of identifying with an urge doesn't exist because urge itself is not there. That is the fallacy in the simile here. That is the fallacy. Now, the word tapas is in fact a transferred epithet. Aram will explain what transferred epithet means. It's too complicated term for me to explain. Now, who can explain transferred epithet?
Guruji, you please do.
There's
no better person to explain.
English, ma. English theriyadillaya. What is transferred epithet? Ramji, what is transferred epithet, sir?
I don't know what is epithet, sir, so I won't know what is transferred epithet.
Okay, Kashish, just Google and tell us what's transferred epithet. I also surrender, sir, sometimes. No, all the time. But now Google Mata is going to help us. So the term attributed to Brahman of tapas is a transferred epithet. So the tapas is a transferred epithet from Brahman to the individual. Yes, Kashish, please explain.
Guruji, through the wisdom of Google, I have learned that transferred epithet. I pasted it in the chat as well, but it's when an adjective usually used to describe one thing is then like applied or superimposed onto the other thing. So for example, the example they give is like a happy person. If you take that adjective and apply it, like an emotion that's normally used to describe a person is then applied to like a happy circumstance, maybe. That would be an example of a transferred epithet.
Yes. So you transfer an adjective is used to describe a thing is transferred to the other. Like when you use a term or you say, it's a hospitable door. In English language, when you say it's a hospitable door, means the inmates, the family are very hospitable. So you're transferring the hospitality or the hospitable nature in the language from the door to the inmates. Similarly, the transferred epithet here is from the Brahman to the individual who is responsible for the creation of the world. So the creation of your world is not because of Brahman, is because of your identification, your tapas with the urge. You are born with vasanas and you have chose to do tapas. You are putting an effort to promote your vasana. Since you put tapas, since you identify with your vasana, you have created a world for yourself. Harish, how did you become a businessman? Are you not a businessman? Don't you announce yourself as a businessman to the world? You give your card and say, I am the director, managing director of this business company. Don't you?
Yes.
How did you, now let's philosophize, how did you become a businessman? What you're born with, Harish, you are born with the vasana for business, isn't it? It's come from childhood to you, all right? But what have you done through the course of your life? Have you not put in effort to work on that nature of being a businessman?
Yes.
So because of that effort to identify with the urge, today you have become a successful businessman. Now you are identifying with the urge in you to become a philosopher. It is your tapas to identify with the vasana for philosophy makes you a philosopher. Exactly that way. So the transferred epithet from Brahman identifying with his urge, it is actually not Brahman, but it is the individual identifying with the urge that swells. The swell of that is the food, vital air, elements, the world, and the endless actions you're performing. Without this concept of transferred epithet, the concept is vague. It is just again a lacuna, but we have given a meaning to the mantra. I tell you, it fits in like a jigsaw puzzle. So it is the transferred epithet concludes that the individual is responsible for his creation. You are responsible for your creation, that's all. And that's because of tapas. Now you choose where you want to put effort. You can choose whether you want to promote your identify with your vasana for business or you want to identify with your vasana for philosophy, Harish. You can choose, don't you? Can't you?
Yes.
So just to give a meaning to the mantra, a rational meaning, but the mantra itself has a meaning which he conveys it. That is very clear. But the crux is the first three words. What are they, Harish? Tapasa chiyate brahma. Tapasa chiyate brahma. So on your table, you get a placard made, Tapasa chiyate brahma. And you turn it towards the other side. So everybody who comes will see tapasa chiyate brahma. That way you'll become more like a philosopher than a businessman. So instead of doing business, you say, hey, Varesh, what is this tapasa chiyate brahma? And then you can start off. Tapasa chiyate brahma tato namabhijayate. Beautiful. I tell you, it's just music. It's just poetry and prose to it's very, very beautiful, very elevating. Once you eat, it's like trying to, in summers, you find, they make the sugarcane, they roll through the rollers and squeeze. They keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until there's only dirt comes out of it. So you keep squeezing these mantras, there's something that comes out, and to keep with it, to keep at it, to be persistent with these texts and keep drilling and probing, something keeps coming out. And there's a limitation, but you keep continuing this, there's something that you keep drawing out. How patient are you? So it's just a glimpse into what deep is embedded in these words. All right, so I'll come back and explain even the words food has a deeper meaning. I'll come back and I'll explain it the next week. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.